Lights Out, directed by David F. Sandberg, based on his short film of the same name that came out in 2013, produced by James Wan. It stars Maria Bello and Teresa Palmer, Gabriel Bateman, and Alexander Depergia. The general storyline of this movie is you have a fractured family, they're dealing with some drama, some mental illness, some loss, that kind of deal. And they're haunted, so to speak, by this ghostly apparition / creature. And it's about them trying to figure themselves out and save each other while escaping the creature. So, Jason, what'd you think?
I liked it. No, it was really it was actually pretty darn.
To put it in simple terms.
For modern horror movies, which are like so hit or miss nowadays, you either get some decent ones, good ones. The Conjuring, Conjuring 2 have been getting praise for their effectiveness, but then you have stuff like Ouija and Annabelle, which are not so good. This one's definitely grouped in with the higher group of modern horror movies that was not only interesting, fast-paced, and didn't explain too much.
Which is good. When a movie such as this, a horror movie, explains too much, you kind of lose a little interest. The imagination gets taken away from you. So yeah, I think that was a very smart move that they did to keep it simple, give you enough details to create the picture in your head that you need, but not give so much away about the backstory and get bogged down in, all that stuff.
Yeah, we're going to keep it spoiler-free, definitely considering it's also 9-10 days early before the movie comes out, so nobody else is...
We saw it 10 days early, it's 9 days now that we're filming this.
Yeah, so people haven't seen it yet, so to have spoilers just yet would probably not be helpful. But,
So what you have here is basically a very simple, yet effective horror story. What do you think of the horror elements of the movie?
It definitely had two levels of scares. You had your jump scares, and you had your slowly building dread in the background. And because of the premise of the movie with lights and lights being out in the shadows and how they build that, you're always kind of looking in the background at the shadows or the dark corridors or the rooms like that. And they filmed it very effectively. A lot of close-up shots, but you always had that little bit of darkness behind a character, so you're always kind of keeping an eye on all that throughout the movie. Other than that, everything else was kind of just a jump scare, which done effectively because there weren't no false jump scares, no cats, no birds, nothing stupid like that people do a lot nowadays.
Like someone jumps around the corner hey, how you doing, buddy? Like that, kind of cheap jump scare that would never happen in real life. This movie at least put forth some effective story and character important jump scares.
Yeah, it stuck with the story. It was fast moving, so they kind of didn't have the extra filler or crap to do that type of thing.
The movie's only an hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah.
It's not very long.
So, and on top of that, the other thing I really liked about it was how realistic the characters acted, for the most part. When something weird happened, the characters were like, fuck this, I'm out, and they took off. They weren't just like, oh, let's go see what the sound's making. There was a few things like that, but it was later on as people kind of already had experienced this ghost and knew what it was kind of about. They kind of had built up a little bit of courage, or it was daylight, so they weren't as afraid. But in general, when characters were they saw something, they reacted how people really would. And
I'm going to jump off that into the semi-bit of humor that there was in this movie. It's by no means a comedy, but to the realistic sense that he's talking about, there were some moments, especially between the boyfriend character played by Alexander Depergia and the son character played by Gabriel Bateman, where just their timing and sometimes the things that they would say, the things that they would do, the theater would laugh, but it wasn't like they were laughing at the movie, they were laughing at the situation because normal people would do what they did or say what they said. And because of that, you get some nice real world type humor in a horror film. And that it helps to break the tension.
Yeah.
Because the movie does have that. If anything, the movie is effective at. And this is a real credit to the director. I can't wait to see what he's going to do next, which apparently is Annabelle 2.
Oh, sorry, man.
Hey, you never know when a new director's at the helm of a movie. So, it says something about his skill as a director to be able to shoot in natural low lights and shadows and effectively create building tension as the movie progressed. And
which he did very effectively in the original, which was what brought attention to him to do this.
That 2-minute short film was an excellent 2-minute short film, and it proved that the director could take a full-featured production and expand upon it and make it into something worth seeing.
Yeah, which, if you look real careful, in the beginning scene, there is an Easter egg that harkens back to the original 2013 one. It's a quick scene, I'm not going to ruin what it is, but see if you can catch it. It's very interesting.
It's not even a scene, it's a quick snippet.
Yeah, really,
it's like
a second.
2 frames of something. as for where this movie fits in the grand pantheon of horror films, it is a simple, as we've said, effective ghost story.
Yeah.
It's not complicated. It follows this one family. It doesn't draw in too much attention or try to explain things in natural or science terms.
Yeah,
And
not many extraneous characters.
there's no extra stuff. There's no fluff, which is good, which is why the movie's so short. It makes use of its hour and 20-minute runtime.
Yeah, and with the they do explain some of the situation, which actually people have seen in the trailer, of how it's like the creature is, you know, the mother's friend from childhood. They do explain a little bit, but with explaining that little bit that they have, they actually open up more questions. So they don't kind of throw everything at you with a perfectly wrapped bow around this like explanation of what's going on. They explain some, and then they leave a lot more open to interpretation.
And
agree.
what score would you give it?
I'd give it probably an 8. I'd say go see it. It's more the type of movie you'd want to like have a couple friends over, even by yourself, and watch it at home. But since it is in theaters, go check it out. See it at night. See it with some friends. It was fun. The theater we saw it in, was pretty damn full, and everybody had a good time. So check it out.
I will give it about a 7.5. I think 8's being generous.
I'm generous.
He's being generous. I'm Mr. Nice Guy. I'm the one that's supposed to be the more generous one. Hey. But, yeah, I'd give it a 7.5. It's a good, solid 7.5. There's really nothing to tear apart about this movie. The acting is pretty solid from the cast all around, especially the kid when he's scared. I feel like, the crew was like legitimately trying to scare the hell out of this poor kid, and that's definitely a good thing.
Nothing mind blowing in the acting department. Definitely, totally, serviceable to the situation. It's not like Oscar worthy, but they all did a good job. For a horror movie, they did good. It's not like
in the
cheesy
end,
stuff. Yeah.
We recommend it. Go see it. It's worth your time. It's worth the price of admission.
Check out the original first. Lights Out, 2013.
Can we post a link to the original?
Yeah, we'll post a link down
We'll
below
post a
in the
link
description.
below this video for the original. It's only 2 minutes of your time.
So, check it out. Thanks very much for watching. Hopefully this helped out. And the next movie we will hopefully have for you guys is Ghostbusters, which, seems to be very down the middle on this. You love it, you hate it, and everybody else is like, eh. So we'll see what what it's like.
If you like what we said here, come back and see what we say about Ghostbusters in a couple days. All right, bye.